Hi and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst. In this video we're going to go through the Forex market wrap. It's not going to be the greatest Forex market wrap. The dollar weakness has just really smashed through. I wasn't expecting this at all. Really expecting that seasonal play to start coming through, and we were going to see a little bit of that dollar strength continuance. Now, the strength and weakness table, if I just bring that in, and we looked at it at the start of the week, you know, the dollar was at +5s, okay? Now, that does usually tip into the reversal side of things, but when we looked at those daily charts, the trends were changing, and it looked like that the trend was still pretty much in the US dollar favor. Now, unfortunately, that hasn't followed through, so it looks like there's going to be a little bit of changing of the guard in terms of dollar strength. Is going to be looking a little bit weaker going into the end of this week. Some things that did play out in terms of reversals. So Aussie was suggesting that it was going to reverse, although very weak. So again, you kind of look at that Aussie dollar chart and think, well, actually the trend could either continue or reverse. And it was at a point where it looked to us that it would continue that trend. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's going to play out either, and we've seen a reversal in that currency strength and weakness. Yen also reversed, and this is why we looking at the Dow long, because the Dow was one of those where it was at a point where, to me, it looked like that risk on play was going to come through. So one way that we kind of looked to sort of hedge that was by looking at that Dow long in there. So stock markets rallying has caused these risk currencies just to gain a little bit of strength. We were either expecting another sort of down week to the stock markets, or at least to the or another buying week involved with the dollar. We were expecting sort of these follow throughs to come through, and then maybe a continuation. Like on euro, we were talking about how important that 4 hour was to change the trend, and it looked like we were getting this lower high in here, and the market was key to breaking that low. And we had this candlestick here where it looked like price was starting to head towards that area in here, but then it formed a nice sort of rejection of that, unfortunately for us, and price has continued to break out. So it's going to be interesting to see if it will kind of or if when the US session comes in, whether that momentum will turn around for us and we'll see that dollar strength coming in. At the moment, it's not looking likely. It's looking like the dollar weakness is continuing. Still in the sort of dollar Swiss move over here. It's just pulled back. It looks to me like, again, focusing on that sort of 4 hour sort of time frame, we were looking for the break and close above this high. So important looking at this 4 hour time frame to see what's happening. Market has just continued to break down. So until anything changes here, the bias here is just kind of still to the downside. There's no real effort here to see that the market's pushing up. We're going to have to wait for that US session to drop in, see how it performs at the end of the week. We can better then judge it and look at it on the outlook, see if we can take any different sort of positions or whether we are positioned still correctly. If not, then we're going to have to make some adjustments. But, would I do anything differently? Not really. We had a nice break on Aussie US dollar. It just hasn't, followed through with the momentum we expected. Euro, arguably, yes, we could have waited for a little bit more of a breakdown here, but we were looking at that daily candlestick momentum there and that rejection. So yeah, that one, it could still come through. Obviously, the US session hasn't come into play yet, so it'd be interesting to see how those perform. Euro Kiwi was expecting the pullbacks regardless, so we're in these at the minute, waiting for any kind of extensions to the upside through there. That 4 hour trend is still looking pretty good on both of these. So yeah, let's see how these play out. But essentially, kind of looking at the Forex market wrap and just seeing what's happening. The dollar weakness very much prominent at the moment, which is unfortunate. Just kind of bringing it back to this strength and weakness chart. I was expecting that just to continue for at least another week or so, but obviously it's been a heavy news week as well. There's been lots of changing going on and lots of heavy headlines which have sort of disrupted the natural sort of flow to the market. So it'd be interesting to see how next week starts, or how the end of the day plays out. We've pretty much rallied across the majors, so the dollar getting weaker So it'll be interesting to see what happens when the US does come through. Will the US session drive that dollar strength back higher? If it does, then it looks like, and the way it'll finish will be something that we'll have to analyse going into sort of the Forex market outlook. But nonetheless, I hope you've had a great trading week, and we will catch you very soon.